Hey everybody, how's it going? We're here with the Timeless reading. Welcome. First card out is Page of Pentacles. Queen of Cups. I get the vibe of practical movements helping you do something that may be like more difficult to pin down. Okay, you have something going on. It feels like needing to keep this in check, needing to keep this in balance is important. So even though you can feel like your heart and soul is involved in this, that there's also a need to be practical as well. So it feels like both the cup, like the water, and also then the earth elements sort of coming together here. Like the Page of Pentacles, meaning that it's going to be helpful to you, but it can help you in a matter that's like an emotional matter. But being practical about this, when I say practical, I mean like approaching this in a functional way where you could be thinking about what you need, you could be thinking about your expectations. So being able to communicate them or even like understand what they are for you in a way where it can be articulated. Again, whether this is just I'm knowing that within myself consciously, or I'm like also knowing that and then needing to communicate that with someone. Like all of these things are going to be important here. And it feels like it has to do with what your expectations are, what you're looking for, or what's resonating with you emotionally. I'm seeing Page of Wands here too. So it looks like there's something that you're doing or getting starting, or that feels like it's sort of at the beginning of a process for you. It's something that you care about. It's something that you want to be doing. But also here you want to make sure that it's sort of like meeting whatever needs these are that you're looking to have met, or whatever like standards these are that you have for it to meet that. There may be a discussion that's going to come too. I think this can be something that then is going to be communicated. Okay, I'm seeing Hanged Man and Ace of Pentacles. I feel like by zooming out and seeing things in a different way than you had initially, it's going to also afford you an opportunity that wouldn't have otherwise been there. But what I'm seeing too is that there may be a specific way that you're looking at things, and I'm seeing it be from the vantage point, from the perspective of the Queen of Cups, which means that there's an emotional lens that things are being looked at from, or there's like a feeling lens that things are being looked at from. So it can be about you and your sensitivities and your needs and what you're also looking to receive, because we have a feminine energy here. So it's about like, what am I receptive to emotionally? But also too, having the Hanged Man here says that the whole picture is not yet being perceived. So that's why I'm seeing Page of Pentacles be here. So it feels like taking something that's connected with feeling and being able to place this in a more like material setting. So it's not just something that feels very ambiguous, or something that feels like in the ether. This is about grounding that, and it feels like these feelings, or what you're experiencing, is then going to be grounded, and that's why the earth is here. It's sort of giving the water something to take shape within, but you're also designing the shape that it's going to take simultaneously. Having Neptune and having Queen of Cups here can be experiencing things and trying to sort of conceptualize what that is that's going on, because Neptune can be a bit like a far-fetched energy. Neptune can be sort of smoke and mirrors that we experience. However, the more that we gaze into it, the more we can either see more of what we're looking for or more of what actually is. And it feels like this is going to allow you to maybe see more of what's going on. I feel like you're opening yourself up, so you're going to be seeing things maybe more objectively, because you could have been looking at things from a very subjective standpoint. And maybe this is also about realizing like more needs than you were actually aware of, or more, when I say needs, this feels like something that you're involved in, where before you could have gone into it and been like, I think that these things are really important to me, but I feel like Neptune is going to show you that there are also other things that are important to you from an emotional space or from a feeling space. And it feels too like not rushing to call out what this is going to be helpful, because having Neptune here suggests that there's more to see than just what meets the eye right now, and that there's going to be more that will be seen and more that will be understood, and that this can lend itself to a new chapter. But having Hanged Man here also says, like, at first glance you see things a certain way, but then at second and third and fourth glance, you're going to see things that you weren't seeing before. So that's why it's important to sort of like spend time with a Hanged Man, you know, like looking at things from different angles. Because you can be feeling a type of way about something right now, is what I'm seeing. You can feel like you can't let your guard down with someone. You can feel like they take advantage of you. Six of Pentacles and Five of Swords is like I show up and I give, and I feel sometimes like that's taken advantage of, or I feel like I can't let my guard down, or I feel like I can't relax. Because Five of Swords is that part of you that's like, I have to look out for myself because I don't feel safe for some reason. And I'm seeing it be connected with Six of Pentacles, which is about, and Queen of Cups, which is what I give, how I show up. And there's this part of me that's maybe starting to feel resentful within this new cycle because of the way that I'm seeing things. Also, another thing with Neptune too, and the Queen of Cups here, is that you may have certain boundaries, certain values that you haven't been like paying attention to, and then you're doing things that's not totally aligned with your values or not totally aligned with your boundaries. Because Neptune can be very loving and very giving and very compassionate, and Neptune can also be like martyring yourself as well and doing things that you're actually not comfortable with, or that you don't actually want to be doing, but you're doing it like for the sake of caring, you know? But then you feel like you're betraying yourself in a way. And that's also why looking into Neptune, how this can be helpful for you is if you look at where Neptune is within your birth chart, it can show you the area of life that you do this within. If you have Neptune in your first house, like part of your vibe can be that you're very like loving and very sweet with people and very sensitive and able to like really deeply empathize with other people. But then you may be trying to put other people's needs before your own and then feel like your emotional needs are not being met. I'm saying emotional because we have Queen of Cups here, so I imagine it very much has to do with that, stuff that's going on emotionally for you. If you have Neptune in the second house, you can like share your resources with people, but to the point where you're like, now who's going to take care of me because of taking care of everybody else, and so on and so forth. Like it goes like that throughout the houses. If it's in your seventh house, when it comes to your one-on-one relationships with people, you may feel like you give a lot more into it than you are getting in return. You can find yourself in situations with people where you can deem them as being like takers and you're a giver, and it's about learning to like create boundaries with that in a practical way by checking in with your values, so you don't have to feel this way of I just can't let my guard down with anybody, or like what I give it's never returned, or I feel like I'm taken advantage of, and then feeling that sense of resentment because of it. Because I'm seeing something here that you want to be doing, but you can also be feeling a type of way at the same time because you feel like something isn't fair. But the point of this is that nobody is going to be able to take anything from you that you are not willing to give. And so there is a willingness on your part to be giving things that you may be learning within this feeling of I'm unsettled, or I don't feel safe, or I feel resentment, or now I'm feeling angry towards this person, or now I don't feel trusting of them, or now I feel like I need to look out for myself and like forget this other person now. Things that are starting to feel like that, that's telling you where you're doing something that's not aligned for you. So this is about like waking up to the bigger picture of your expectations, of your boundaries, and also how you're showing up, how you're handling yourself. And it feels like checking yourself a bit here emotionally. Because as much as you can be like, well, I've been the one that's been showing up and been giving, it only happens because you're the one doing that. So if you're doing things that you're not actually okay with, which you may be telling yourself, I'm okay with it because I see myself as being a giving person, and that's what you do when you love someone, whatever your situation is. But then being like, and now I'm just around all of these people that just take things from me. But again, like nobody can take anything from you unless you're giving it. So this is a time to be practicing boundaries and to be checking in with yourself, whether or not you're okay with certain things that you're doing. And not giving things that you're actually not okay with giving. But it's going to take boundaries, it's going to take checking in to do that, but it's also going to be a lot healthier for you emotionally. And you're going to find that this can actually be a helpful energy. So rather than feeling, again, like you're surrounded by people that just want things from you or are taking from you, this is you recognizing that takes two to tango here within this. And that's not going to be happening if you're placing boundaries, if you're saying no, if you're checking in and doing what feels right with you. That it won't, like the dynamic can only continue if you're giving in that way and somebody else is taking. So if you stop doing that thing on your end of just giving without checking in, it's also going to stop things happening on the other end. It takes like both of those pieces for them to work together with one another. Like, that's the beauty of duality. So if you're moving more into the middle rather than less of an extreme of giving, and then you're around people in an extreme of taking, you go more into the middle, you're going to meet people that are more in the middle, and it's going to feel more reciprocal. Or you're going to change things within the dynamic that will allow it to be more reciprocal. Because this doesn't mean then I have to change all my relationships now. It can mean that you may be changing dynamics within your relationships. But it's going to take taking that first step, and that can feel very uncomfortable. However, I'm seeing something that you have that's really good within your life. It looks like an opportunity to connect. I'm seeing a lot of things that feel like new chapters for you, new situations, or ones that can feel like a sense of renewal, where it feels exciting to do these things and it feels like it's somewhere that you want to be. But definitely addressing this right now is going to be a good idea to be doing, so you don't get to the point where this becomes too much and then you have to cut something off completely because you weren't listening to yourself when it was already going in a direction that you weren't comfortable with. And again, like how you're going to know that this situation is happening for you is that you may have somebody asking you for something and there's this part of you that feels resentful about it, that feels maybe anger towards them, that feels like that other person is selfish, that feels like these types of things. But again, like your behavior ends up enabling those things. So it's about checking in with that part of yourself that's like, hey, I need you to advocate for me, or hey, I need you to speak up for me, or hey, I didn't actually want to do that, or I wasn't okay with that, and you ignored me and you did it anyway. So again, like just checking in, tuning in with that part of yourself. Because I'm seeing that it's going to allow you to connect in a different way that actually like sort of takes away this unpleasant narrative, because something isn't going to be happening anymore that's sort of like raining on your parade here. And it feels like it's going to help you see things differently, because this feels like a track that you're already on, and you could have been feeling a type of way about it just because of what's been playing out, but it feels like putting the onus on yourself here. Because if you find yourself in a cycle, it's because of, even though other people can be involved, yes, and their energy does do stuff too within it, yeah, but it's also recognizing your own, and that if you don't play a certain game, the game's not going to be played, you know? So you're not stuck in anything. It's always your choice. That you have a lot more control in this. And so if you're showing up again, like in a more balanced way, then this type of situation where you feel like your energy is being like sucked and you don't want that to be happening, switching it up a bit, it's going to allow you to sort of enjoy things a bit more and to not feel so guarded too, because I'm definitely seeing you feel like you resonate with this energy. You feel like you're sensitive, you feel like you're empathic, you feel very loving, and feel at the same time like that's being taken advantage of. This is something that's going to mitigate that. And it's going to help you feel like things are more balanced, more fair. But again, you're going to have to speak up for yourself, and it may be something that you feel uncomfortable with. You may have a hard time. You may communicate a lot in a non-verbal way and be like, well, I understand when other people communicate non-verbally, but whoever you're dealing with, they may not communicate like that. They may not be in touch in this way that you are. They may be in touch in different ways. And so you may have to be very, very direct communication-wise, but I'm seeing that's also not like your first go-to, because it's easier for you to pick things up in a subtle way. And so it doesn't matter what somebody's saying or what they're not. You know what's going on. You get a feeling for that. And I get the vibe that you're going to have to just be more vocal about where you are with things with this in order to allow this to work more so in your favor. Because this is ultimately about being happy with where you are. Because I am seeing something that feels good for you. Like you want to be in this and you like where you are and you like what you have going on. And this path is something that you are interested in doing. And this is tweaking it to be more aligned with your values. And listening to why this is coming up for you and what that means then. And it doesn't mean like that person's a bad person or like they don't have empathy or whatever. It means I'm not listening to myself and my values. And this is something that I need to check in with more and reinforce that. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.